Welcome to session number 3 in HTML. In the previous session, we started discussion about some elements that we can use in the body tag, in the body section. And as we know, we can make use of elements, attributes, and different type of coding statements which are actually called as elements. So here in this session, before we start discussing about some elements and attributes, I would like to discuss with you some rules that we have to understand whenever we are using HTML. Number one statement you can see here, HTML documents are structured documents. That means it defines what element a document can contain, their possible relationship to one another within a document, and possible attributes and values. So here you can see HTML documents are always structured documents. There are parent tags, there are child tags, and there are specific relationship between each other. The attributes and the values we use in each HTML element has a specific relation. Element names are not case sensitive. That means whenever we create HTML document, you can see here we can write small letters, we can write capital letters, we can write one capital, other small, means there is no such rule. But I will recommend to always use small case letters for element names. Okay, I will always recommend this to use small case names for all element names. It is not case sensitive. We can write capital, we can write small, okay, we can write in any form, doesn't matter, it will not give you any kind of error. So HTML element names are not case sensitive. Okay, many people suggest that writing uppercase is conventional, but I would recommend to use small case. Next, attribute names are not case sensitive. What are attributes? You can see in the previous session I told you about some attributes that we can use in the body, that is the text color. Here you can use the text attribute. You can see in different type of elements we can use the attributes. For example, h1 align is equal to center. This is the attribute. h1 is the element name, align is the attribute, and center is the attribute value. So here I will write this is heading 1, this is heading 1 slash h1. So here these elements can sometimes, or the start tag specifically, the start tag can contain attributes, and the attribute names are also not case sensitive. We can write in capital, we can write like this also. So attribute names are not case sensitive, but you can see here sometimes attribute values may be case sensitive. Specifically whenever we are writing the file name or font name, okay, something like this, we can have attribute values, and attribute values can be case sensitive. In some cases the value of an attribute may be case sensitive, specifically whenever it is referring to a file. The file name in the img tag, img is one tag actually which is used to insert one image in the HTML document. We will see in the next session how to use the img tag. But specifically whenever we want to refer to a file, that file name may not be the same as the file name in the capital or small. It depends on the operating system actually once again. So this you have to understand, attribute values can be case sensitive. Another point, element names cannot contain spaces. You can see here this is one element name. Here we cannot put space. Here also we cannot put space. If I do so, what happens? Okay, if I do some wrong thing, you can see this is one abc.html, and I want to save this file somewhere into the D drive, Disha folder. I save this file as abc.html, and now I want to open this. I know here you can see I did some wrong. I put space in the element name. So what to do, or what happens Okay, when we put some space in the element name, I want to open this file into the Explorer. You can see here browser will ignore this element and it will print the text as an ordinary text. It will print the content as an ordinary text. You can see here it will print the content as an ordinary text. So we cannot put the space, we cannot put space characters inside the element name. Element name cannot contain spaces. After element name we can put space and we can write the attributes. Okay, here also I can put the space, that is not the matter. But inside the element name or before the element name we cannot put spaces. So these small points we have to understand. What is the next rule? You can see attribute values may contain spaces. Attribute values may contain spaces if the value is enclosed by quotes. For example, in HTML there is one element called as a font element. I will explain the font element in detail, but right now one example I want to share. The font element is used to set the font and the attribute name is the face. So here we can see Bookman old style. So here you can see the attribute value is containing space. The attribute value can contain spaces provided that it should be in the double quotation marks. It should be enclosed in the double quotation marks. So attribute values may contain spaces if that value is enclosed by quotation marks. Next, a browser collapse and ignores space characters in HTML content. Yesterday in the previous session I told if you put some extra spaces between two words or if you put some extra line breaks between lines, browser will collapse these lines, browser will ignore these extra spaces. You can see this is the normal text. Because the alignment is center, I can see this at the center of the document and there is no any extra space added by the browser. Browser will totally ignore this extra space. It will consider only one space. If you want to break this line, you may use some different element like break that we have discussed in the earlier session. So what is the next point? Browser collapse any sequence of spaces, tabs, carriage return, the same point. Next, HTML document may contain comments. For example, sometimes we want some help text. Sometimes we want some text that should not be displayed on the browser. So if I want to insert some comments, how to insert the comment? This is the comment tag. This is the comment tag. This is comment and it will be ignored. It will be ignored by the browser. That's it. So anywhere if you would like to insert some comments, you can use this. You can use these tags. This is the start of comment and this is the end of comment. You can write some comments like this also. If you run this page, you will see the comment will not be displayed. The comment will be ignored. Whatever you write inside these tags will be ignored. Why we write comments? Many times we want some help text or something description of some part of the website. So for that purpose we can have comments and comments will be ignored. Next, an element that encloses the start tag of another element must also enclose its end tag if exists. What it means? You can see here I started h1 element. After that I started the font element. Next I finished the font element first and then I finished the h1 element. That means we have to nest the elements. For example, once again if I start h2 here, I start bold. I will write something like this. This is bold. First we have to finish b tag and then we have to finish the h2 tag. So if the element contains the start tag, it should also contain the end tag. This is correct. If you do this, this will be incorrect. Now practically this will not show any error. Okay, this will not show any error, but this is a wrong practice. Okay, so understand this point. The element that encloses the start tag should also contain the end tag if exists. Example is given here. Okay, please see this example. Here I think this should be I means italic. This is a formatting element. No major browsers at this time have a problem with this actually, but you are advised to nest tags rather than cross them. Another very important point is browser ignore unknown elements. If you write unknown elements, browser will totally ignore it. That means if you write something like this Disha, maybe you are writing something hello world / Disha. Now this is not a element. So if you are writing any wrong words, any wrong elements, browser will totally ignore it. If you run this page, browser will display only hello world. Okay, it will ignore the text. It will ignore the element text, element. And also browser will ignore unknown attributes. You are writing unknown attributes, browser will totally ignore it. What are attributes actually? Attributes are used to modify the appearance of the element. This attribute is used to enhance the element. They are used for formatting purpose. So we have seen some HTML tags before, like h1, h2, paragraph tags. And basically the attribute can be used to define the characteristics of HTML element. And every attribute has two parts, attribute name and attribute value. Name means the property that you want to set. For example, the P element, the paragraph element has one attribute called as a align. And this align attribute has some value. And the value is what you want the value for the property to be set and always put within the quotations. You may use double quotation, you may use single quotation. Okay. Sometimes you may write single quotation marks, you may write double quotation mark, that is fine. Now here is a list of attributes. You can see here most of the HTML elements or tags may have these attributes. Okay, we can use the width attribute, height attribute, ID attribute, class attribute, BG color, background, align. Most of the elements have these attributes in common. We can say these are the generic attributes, common attributes. Now the use of ID, the use of class, we will understand when we talk about style sheets, JavaScript and some scripting languages. Basically this ID attribute provides name, okay, some logical name for the particular element. Specifically, we will understand this ID attribute and class attribute when we discuss about style sheets and scripting. The width attribute can be used to specify the width of table, image, table cell or any block level element. The height attribute can be used to specify the height of table, height of image, height of block, etc. You can see the background element is also there. Background element can be used to provide the background image. BG color attribute is used to provide the background color, some solid color. V-align specifically used in tables to vertically align the text or content. And align attribute is used to horizontally align the content. So these are some common attributes. Step by step, for every element, we will make use of the attributes. Right now, today we are going to understand the body element in depth, and we are going to discuss all the attributes of body element. We know the body element contains the body section, the actual document that we view onto the browser as a web page. The body element starts with the body tag and ends with a /body tag. And anything that we put into the body section is displayed by the browser when you view the HTML document. Normally with the body element we can use these three attributes: BG color, background and text. There are so many attributes I will list here. You can see one by one we will see. First is the BG color attribute. Now let's see here what is the BG color attribute. I will remove this text and I will use one by one. The attribute is the BG color. And what is the possible value of this BG color? For this BG color, we can have any color name. We can have the hexadecimal value, we can have the color name, or we can have the RGB property. I will write right now I will write here some named color, biscuit. Now go to file menu, save this, and you can see the result. You can see some background color is applied. So BG color attribute is used to apply the background color. Fine. What is the next attribute? Text attribute. This will change the color of all text of your whole page. Okay. You want to set the text color for the text inside the body. So here you can see the text attribute we can use. Text is equal to red. Save this. I am pressing Ctrl S, and here I will refresh by pressing the F5 key. You can see the color now appears in the text is now appearing in the red color. Next attribute is the link attribute. Link. What is link attribute? Basically, every web page may have some hyperlinks, and hyperlink is one way to connect two or more documents together. Actually, I am going to explain how to link two or more documents maybe in some future, maybe in some further session. We will see one anchor tag. There is one tag called as an anchor tag. Right now, just for example purpose, I want to insert some anchor tag. This is the anchor tag, A/A. This is the anchor tag. If I write here something, click here. If I write here something, click here. One link will be provided for this text. And which file you want to open? Suppose here I am writing href attribute. The anchor tag has one attribute called as a href, hyperlink reference. href means hyperlink reference. You can see in your folder there are so many files. This is the first file, web page 1. And if you want to open this web page 1, write this webpage.html. Or we can write like this also. A href is equal to http:// we can provide any URL, www.google.com. I may want to link to the google.com. So using this tag, using this anchor tag, I can provide the hyperlink. We will talk about the anchor tag in detail maybe in the next few sessions. Right now I want to put some hyperlinks using the anchor tag and the attribute href, hyperlink reference. I will write here http:// www.dishanotes.com, and here I will write like this, dishanotes/a. I am using the break for giving a line break. Now you can see here these are the hyperlinks. Now by default these hyperlinks will appear in blue color. By default you can see here these hyperlinks will appear in blue color. If you click this link, the targeted or the referenced link will be open. The referenced URL will open. You can see the referenced URL is opening. I am clicking this text, Google is opening. I press back button once again to go to the back. If I click on this text, the hyperlinked reference page will be open. This is web page 1. The page not found because I think I have one mistake. The name of the file is webpage1.html. Okay, I do the corrections, and you can see here if I click this, one page will be displayed. This is a link to the local file. This is linked to remote location, Google. Whatever URL you write, the link will be given or the connection will be given using the anchor tag. But we know by default the hyperlink will appear in the blue color and the visited link will appear maybe in purple color. So what we can do using these properties? Using these properties we can set the link color, links. Instead of normal blue color, you can change the color of your links. Okay, using the link, vlink. Vlink means visited link. Here in the body tag, you can see in this body tag I will write link is equal to any color name. If you write white, the link color will become white. Vlink means visited link color. Vlink is also I want white. Vlink is also I am taking as a white color, or you can have some different color also, brown, red, blue, whatever. Blue is the common now. I will set it to brown color now. Now save this document, open the browser and check it once again. You can see now these links appear in the brown color. You can write any color. Okay, we'll change the color. You can see the link color I am setting white color, and vlink also I am setting to white. Now save and check the output. Now you can see it appears in the white color. So these are the attributes. One tag can have so many attributes. Right now you can see this is the first attribute I am using to set the background color. Okay, you can use any color. Okay, here you can see I am using the different color, tan. For text I am using different color. For link I am using white color. Vlink means visited links. Okay, you can have different colors. You can see the background color I am changing, the link color I am changing using different attributes. You can see this is the new color now, and these are the link colors, these are the text colors. Next attribute is the A-link. A-link means what? A-link means active link. Okay, whenever you click on a link, it changes color momentarily. That means what you can see here, whenever you are clicking it, whenever you press the mouse button, I am not releasing, I keep press the mouse button, you can see the link color appears in red. Okay, that color you want to change. This is called as active color, active link color. This also you can change using the A-link attribute. A-link is equal to, I will write here something like a yellow, or maybe I will write here cyan color. Any combination you can have. You can see now if I hold, okay, if I click, it becomes active, and the active link will have cyan color. The active link will have cyan color, and you can observe by just holding the left mouse button on it, this becomes the active. Otherwise you can see here, just hold the mouse button and you can see the active link. The next attribute is the background attribute. Sometimes we may want to apply some image as a background, and if you want to put an image as a background, you can use this attribute, background attribute. The first one, BG color, is used only to provide the solid color to the body. Right now we don't want any solid color. Okay, I am removing the text attribute also. I am removing all those attributes actually. What I will do here is, I will attach one image to the background. Right now you can see this is the simple file. Once again I removed all the attributes. Now where is the background? First we have to search for the background. Okay, what I will do is, I will go to google.com and I will search for some background images. I will download for you, and we will see how we can attach background images to the body section. Now here I will write small website backgrounds. I will search for some background images. These are the background images. Small backgrounds. Okay, you can write like this, small backgrounds, small images. Right click, open link in a new tab. I want to save some files. Actually these small files are like patterns. Okay, you can see here, these are the small files, and these small files are like patterns. The dimension of file is also important. You can see if I move the mouse pointer on it, I can see the dimensions. So I'm choosing a specific type of files. Okay, here you can see the dimension is 2580 by 1920. That means it will be out of screen. We cannot use such kind of images having a larger dimensions. Enough, actually I have got some images. I think this is the protected image, we don't want it. I will use this image. This one is also fine, this one is also fine. So many different type of images we can apply. Let's choose a bigger one also. Let's try what happens when I select some bigger image. So right click that image, click on save image as. Now how to save the images? The best practice is we can create a subfolder inside our root directory. You can see I go to D drive, Disha folder. This is Disha folder and this is the parent directory, root directory. Inside this root directory, I will create a new folder, images, and I will save these images inside this folder. Maybe some specific name you can write. I am writing img1. Some simple name I will write. We can have these images developed using some image editing software also. Specifically, we may use some image editing software like Photoshop. I will save this image also, img2. These images are also, I think, protected images. Fine. We'll search for some different one. This is a bigger image. Save this image. img3. Why not searching? Okay, fine. Just for practice, we have got some images. In the images folder, you can see 3 images we have got: img1, img2, and img3. So first, I will use this image as a background. How to do that? Go to the HTML body section. In the body section, use this attribute background. Background is equal to, and here we have to write the URL. Here we have to write the URL of the image. How to write the URL of the image? Directly write like this: images/img1.jpg. You can write like this also: D drive/disha/images. Now this ABC file or this HTML file we are storing or saving in the Disha folder. So Disha is the parent directory, and if you want to refer to the parent directory, no need to write this. Okay, simply you can write the subdirectory / name of the file. Now save this and check the output. You can see here, I will refresh this, the background image is coming. Because this image dimension is small, because this is the small image, it will automatically repeat horizontally and vertically. We can avoid repeating also using some CSS properties that we will see maybe in the next few sessions. You can try different image also. I will here select image number 3, image3.jpg. You can see here, this is image 3. This is a larger image, so actually this is out of screen. And because the contents are also less, so I can see only few part of the image, means some small part of the image. You can have some backgrounds like this also, means some texture backgrounds also you can use. Just like this, I will right click here, save as, and I will save this as image 4. This is GIF image, remember this is GIF. We can have GIF, PNG, JPG, all types of images we can have. Image4.gif. Now go to file and save, and now run this application once again. Right now you can see that image is a small image, but as it is a pattern type of image, it is repeating horizontally as well as vertically, but we can see it as a background. We can design such kind of images using Photoshop like softwares also. So this is the example of background attribute. Using the background attribute, we can put an image to the background of body. So whatever you choose as the image, it will be tiled across your page if the dimension is small. Actually there is one more property, BG properties is equal to fixed into the body, that we will see later. Means we want sometimes one image as a watermark. These things we will see later. The next property or attribute is the margin property. We can set top margin 0, left margin 0. These properties we can have. In the body section, additionally, we can have top margin. Top margin is equal to 0. Right margin, left margin. These two properties, left margin and top margin. Left margin is equal to 0. These two attributes are used to set the margins, but this will work in Internet Explorer and here also. I will set different margin also, you can see. I am setting top margin to 30 pixel, left margin to 30 pixel. 30 means pixel. You will see the difference here. This is the top margin and this is the left margin. I am setting some margin also. So you can set the margin also using the margin property. The next is the body elements, means elements used in the body tag. Body elements means what? Elements used in the body tag. Body tag. Basically there are two types of elements we can have in the body element. There are two basic categories. First is block level elements and second is text level elements. Actually block level elements create blocks, paragraph, H1, H2, HR. These elements are used to create the block. Okay. Whenever we begin new paragraph, whenever we set the heading levels, whenever we create list, table, these elements will create a separate block. Text level element is another category. They are commonly used for text formatting. Okay. So here they will not create any type of block. They are used some kind of inline blocks, inline elements. So these are two categories, block level element and text level element. Some element fall in this category, some element fall in this category. There are some elements called as a logical division. They are used for divisions, means grouping. Okay. Suppose you can see here, this is H1 element, this is font element, this is H2. Okay, forget about this, this is unknown. You can see here, this is one section. What we can do here is, we can create a div tag and we can put everything inside the div tag. The meaning of div tag is, we can create the divisions. You will learn more about div tag when we start discussing about the CSS. Mostly after learning style sheet, these tag will be helpful. But right now you can consider, if you want some similar formatting to all these elements, we can group these elements under the div tag. I will give you one example. I am writing one attribute here, style is equal to background dash color is equal to biscuit. This is one style. This is one division. Like this I will create one more division. I will set some different color, maybe some different color, lavender, and here there might be some different type of elements. Maybe there will be some paragraph element. This is another section or division. We can call section or division /p. Maybe here we have any type of element. This is some sample text. What I am doing here is I am creating two divisions, two parts, two sections. This is first section or first group. This is second section of second group. So what is the purpose of div tag? The purpose of div tag is to group the elements. That's it. Like for example, I put the background image. You can see this is first division and this is the second division. This is the first section, different color. This is second section, different color. Because I set already the margins, you can see the space to the left and top also. So this is the use of the div tag. It is also called as functional unit. The functional unit of the document are paragraph headings, and using the logical markup we can group these elements. We know already the heading element, we have discussed. This is just written as per the sequence, and we know the attributes used in the heading tag. This is the attribute that we can use for the heading tag. Already in the previous session we discussed the paragraph element, and this is the attribute that we can use for the p tag, and these are the possible values. Just go through this document. One more element today I want to discuss with you is the address element. And the address element uses the address start tag and /address end tag, which is used to specify the address information. Many times you can see in the website we want the company address. Okay, you can see here at the end I want to type here the company address. So instead of typing it using something paragraph or any other element, I may use address. Here I will write something like this: Disha Computer Education, Vishnu Prasad Apartment, near Dandekar Shopping, Vishram Bagh, Sangli, /address. Now this address or this text will appear in the body just like a simple text. You can see it is appearing in this italic style. Automatically some italic style is given. Now it is not only that the text will be displayed in the italic style. We can display the text in italic using the I tag also. For example, suppose this is a sample text. If you want to display it into italic, you can either use this I tag. What is the specific reason I am using the address tag? That is important. I will tell you. First let me demo this. Using the I tag also means the italic tag also you can format the text in italic style. Whenever you use the address element, the text will appear in the italic style. But the specific reason using the address tag is it will be easy for the search engines to automatically search the address. Suppose consider that you want the address of Disha Computer Education to be searched in Google. Sometimes you write like this: address of Disha Computer Education. In Google you might type like this. So how these Google type of websites will take the data from? The Google type of websites, I want to say here, the search engine type of websites are always having some databases by referring the elements like address, meta, and from these tags they will refer the website. Using these tags they will refer the websites. So I will recommend, whenever you are having some official address, whenever you want to put some official address, some company address, some contact address, always try to use this tag, address tag. because these are searched, these are recognized by the search engine. Search engines automatically recognize the text in the address as your address information, and basically browser will render the text inside these tags as the italic format. That means it is also easy to understand that this is something a different text. So you might have this address tag, and using this address tag you can specify the address. The next element is the HR, horizontal rule element. This is the element HR, horizontal rule. Simply this is used to create or insert one horizontal line. As you can see here, after this div tag I will put some break, and I will insert one HR, means horizontal rule. This HR will insert one horizontal rule here. You can see this is the horizontal line. This is the horizontal line. HR inserts horizontal line. Okay. And there are certain attributes. First attribute is color attribute. Color is equal to red. Now you can see if I write color is equal to red, the line will appear in the red color. We can change the width of the line also. Width is equal to some 600 pixel, or simply you can write 600. Width is changed. By default the line appears to the center of the document. If you want to change the alignment, you can have another attribute, that is the align attribute. Align is equal to left. This align is equal to left attribute I am saving continuously. If I do change in the script, I will first save it, Ctrl S, and after saving I will refresh it. You can see the alignment is changed. Okay, you can have some different width also. I will have something 750. Along with the width there is one more attribute called as a size attribute. Size is equal to 10 pixel. Size is equal to 10. It will change the size. You can see this is the size of the HR, means horizontal rule. So this is today's session. In this today's session we have discussed what is attribute. Specifically we discussed the body element attributes, the attributes that we can use in the body tag. Okay, this body element attributes we have used: bg color, text, link, v-link, hyperlink. So many different type of attributes we have discussed. We have discussed two categories of body element: block level element, text level element. And you can see div element, heading element, h1, paragraph, address element. These are the elements that we have discussed in the today's session. And this is one more element at the last we discussed, that is a HR, horizontal rule. So here I want to stop today's session. I will share this file, and I will also share this example also, this HTML example file also I will share with you. I am going to share this complete folder rather. Please find this file, and here is today's reference file, session number 3, attributes. Please download the file. If there is any question, please raise the question. Thank you for attending this session.